Hey everybody, I'm Robert Tomlinson, the commissioner of the USA eBaseball Power League, and it is time for another USA eBaseball Power League roundtable discussion. It is the end of the regular season and the playoffs start tomorrow. Guys, this is fantastic. My panel of John's Copyright, Compass, and Slimefall, they're all in the playoffs today. Guys, how does it feel to make it to the playoffs?
It's an honor.
It's a dream come true.
Feels good.
You should be the one feeling the best right now, John. Playoffs don't even matter for you no more.
Yeah.
I still want to win it all. I still want to go for it. I'm just happy that I made playoffs this year. I didn't make it last year.
Yeah, there's some big news with Mr. John's Copyright here. Let's go ahead and show what the standings look like, because one of our panelists, John's Copyright, is the official regular season champion of the USA eBaseball Power League this season. How about that?
Oh,
Nice work.
awesome. It is awesome.
I'm clapping, but you can't hear me right now because of Discord. But I'm clapping. Round of applause.
I can see it. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, me too.
So happy about this, man.
Congrats.
Oh.
Yep, 23-4 record, 132 runs scored. That is a new record.
Well
in
deserved.
the USA eBaseball Power League. 48 runs against. That is third best among the entirety of the league. Just behind both Greg and Compass at 46 runs against. I mean, absolutely insane year, John.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, and especially my pitching staff keeping up too without Kiba in the second half of the season was, it's just great all the way around. I just found ways to replace him, and then the lineup, it's probably one of my favorite lineups even before the season too. I was like, this team is doing something right now, so I felt super confident in the draft. Then after that, getting better with hitting and all that, really made the season that it is right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, but that does not mean that the whole season is over for anybody, because we have our top 8 teams right here. Bay Area Rockets, they're the number 1 seed. Subarctic Narwhals and Greg the Egg in second place at 21-6 with a plus 43 run differential. Space City Comets right behind with a 21-6 record and a plus 39 run differential. Then you had the Purple Hurricanes and Slimefall in fourth place at 18-9 with 90 runs scored, 63 runs against right there. Then you had the Kang Gang coming from 7th place on the final day of the regular season on Wednesday, from 14-10 all the way up to 17-10, making it to 5th place with a plus 28 run differential thanks to the tiebreaker over YG, who finishes in the number 6 spot at 17-10 with a plus 12 run differential. North Shore Honu in 7th place at 16-11, 25 run differential right there. And then MC Scales and the Rattlers sneaking into the postseason once again in the final weeks of the season, just barely making it over Hokovy. This is, guys, panel, this is a fantastic field of 8 for the playoffs.
It's loaded, and it's super stacked. Oh my god, there's a bunch of fierce competitors here too. I mean, everybody here plays some close games against each other, and everybody has history against each other in the past too. So it's gonna be fun just to even watch any of the series.
Everybody in this playoffs has history. Everybody has their own accolades, whether that be in lock-on 3 or no lock-on play. Everybody has accomplished something, and there's no counting anybody out in this playoffs, because any single person could go on and win it. Any single person could drop off anybody. You could see any single upset. This is just so talented of a field. I mean, can't ask for a better playoff picture than this.
Definitely. So let's go ahead and take a look at the final week that was to end the regular season. And we'll start right at the top of the list here with the Chicago Curve and the Boricua Islanders. Couple of teams playing for pride, and it was the Islanders going out with a bang. And I mean a bang. We're talking taking 2 of 3 from the Curve, including a 1-inning 9-0 romp in game number 3.
Went
Wow,
absolutely crazy, man, in that first inning. I just can't believe it. Like, this when Sid plays, for revenge. Oh my goodness, it's scary. I played against him last season, and he has these bursts of innings where you get like 7 runs or 8, like multiple hits in a row. I mean, that was just insane. And then, the first game of the series, too, was a really good one to watch. I mean, very close all the way through. And, the Curve, pulling it off right there in the end, just a good series. Boricua Islanders, too, looking decent. Looking good.
Yeah, that's a lot of momentum going into the off season for them after a year that they probably wish they performed a little bit better, but that how many games in EPL have finished in 1 inning? I don't think I could recall a single game off the top of my head that's just been over like that. That's very impressive, and hopefully that just carries over into next season.
I looked away during that stream and I was very confused.
Yeah.
I was very confused.
Like, what happened?
I was like, what is 9-0? And then it said perfect game. I was like, wait, I missed a perfect game?
Another one like that, like how we did with Zumi last week. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, finishing a game in 1 inning, I mean, that's impressive. Just a string of hit after hit after hit from the Islanders. And that's what we were expecting all season a little bit from Big Sid.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of runs, scored in this whole season. It was just like, it was just you had one game, where the pitching was good enough, and then the offense might not have been there, and then having your bullpen kind of giving up the games. So it was tough, in Big Sid's shoes, to kind of have those type of games.
Yep, really. I agree with you on that. But end of the season for them, Big Sid finishes 10-17. They finish 9, 10, 11, 12, 13th place at 10-17. 85 runs scored. That's pretty darn good. That's up there in like the top 5 at the very least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 7 in terms of runs scored, but the runs against right near the bottom of the league at 92. That is the second worst. And actually the worst if you didn't count the series forfeit that happened in the Shelly and Matt series this week. So pretty good stuff from Big Sid to end out the season. Clutch finishes at 7-19-1. All right, the next matchup in the list was a very, very big one, and that was the Bay Area Rockets and X-Long X. And let me tell you, this was a bit of a closer series than I think we kind of imagined coming in.
Yes. It was a very close series. I was rooting for X-Long. I'm sorry. I wanted chaos to happen.
He played very good against the top seed of our league. I mean, even though he lost the series, he did take a game off. He kept the season interesting for a little bit, making him not officially win the first seed, even though he was ahead by like 40 runs. So he already won it by that point, but made sure he didn't technically win it with the sweep, and kept those other 2 games close, especially that game 1. Only won it by 1 point, John did. that pitching was keeping him at bay. And honestly, if we look at this with a little bit of a pessimistic look, we could say that this could prove to be a little bit troublesome looking into playoffs for John against some of these bigger pitching staffs. If he's having struggles like this against Xlong's pitching staff, he could have trouble against some of these other pitchers in the league that might come up later on in the playoffs. I don't know if the Rattlers will give him trouble like that, but some of these teams have very, very deadly pitching staffs, and if John can't get those runs, it might be a little bit scary for him in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, John, this was probably one of your tougher series this year, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Xlong was just pitching really, really well in this game. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the pitching charts after the game too. I mean, you know, it just the corners, man.
Xlong is an amazing pitcher.
Yeah, and like I got away with the first game having a home run with DJB, Purple Moon, and that was really unexpected because I was trying to go for it, and then I didn't think it would happen, but it did. But he kept me down, you know, like even, you know, the contact hitting too. I mean, you know, giving me nothing but junk. It was tough, you know, this whole series. He's great at pitching, man. And then even in the last game right there too, I mean, you know, going against Kiba is super difficult. And you know, the way he played that game, and he hit a home run off me with Boo too, so yeah, it was just a great series. Honestly, it was super tight. It was one of the closest series I had since Greg's series. Maybe even before that. I feel like I'm forgetting a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was a very close series. Could have really gone either way, all things considered. I mean, Xlong, like you said, was pitching very, very well in that series, and he was trying to play spoiler. Not gonna lie, he almost played that role pretty well.
He did it too well.
Definitely. Well, Bay Area Rockets, they take 2 of 3. They win the regular season title. They are going to North Carolina for the USA Finals coming up in November. And gonna be playing for a spot in the World Finals. That's gonna be a fun time coming up.
Oh yeah. I've been looking forward to it now. To see if I can come back in some way.
Well, start blocking out those dates in your calendar, John.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next up on the list, Matt and Shelly, they unfortunately couldn't get their series scheduled in a reasonable amount of time. And so because of that, and since the regular season has pretty much come to an end, the league admins decided to give a series forfeit in favor of Matt due to Matt being a little bit more proactive in trying to schedule that matchup. So there we go. So moving on, we had Slimefall and the Purple Hurricanes taking on Hokovy and the DC Delegates, and this was a very tough one for Hokovy, who desperately needed 2 wins to get into the playoffs, and unfortunately for them, it did not happen.
It's very tough going up against an opponent like Slime for your last matchup. He did not get the luck of the draw for the last matchup. I mean, just one more win and he would have been in the playoffs. He had one heck of a season, and it's just unfortunate. Slime, how do you feel that you killed this man's dream?
I'm gonna just say, game 2 and 3 could have went. Game 2 could have went either way.
Oh yeah.
The queen was tagging me up with her pitches. I couldn't do nothing.
Yep, Queen Kokoro, yep.
And he took her out. I just said he should have kept her in. All I said was like, he should have kept her in. If she would stayed in, I would have lost for sure.
Like Snell.
Yeah, it was a very tough series for Hokovi straight up. I mean, just missing out on the playoffs by 9 runs in the run differential. That is a heartbreaker for Hokovi straight up, you know. But you know, there's a lot of positive to take away from Hokovi's first season in EPL. I mean, this guy finished 14-13, above 500. The only, not the only rookie to EPL to finish over 500, but it is hard for a rookie to finish over 500 in EPL.
Yeah, I mean, he did pretty good for his first season. I mean, hitting wise too. I mean, shoot, it's not an easy league to adjust. You know, if you're going from lock on 3 to no lock on,
or even lock on 1, or even Sunshine League play too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different type of competition where you don't have, you know, when you're in the Sunshine League, you have most of the best players on one team. But for this one, you know, you have to draft, you know, accordingly to what everybody else picked afterwards. Everybody's gonna go off the board, you know, really quick, and you know, getting a really good draft, getting the good hitting too. I mean, kept them really in this league. So I nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it was a good, successful season, honestly.
Yep,
His
definitely.
pitching was great.
He has some wins against some really big opponents this season. I know he has a win against me. I think he has a win against John.
And a win against YG.
Does have a win against YG. He has some very big wins this season, and there's a whole lot of potential. I mean, he almost made the playoffs in his first season. He literally didn't make it off of runs. He has loads of potential. We could see him at the top of the league next season, honestly, if he really wants to put in that work and take that next leap.
Yep, and you know, there's a reason that everybody is in the league, okay? And for Hokovi, it was the performance in Sunshine League, it was the track record he has had. He was an awesome competitor. I would put Hokovi in the league 10 times out of 10. Straight up.
Yeah, he deserves it.
Yep.
He deserves to be in the league, and he showed it this season. He
100%.
completely showed it.
Definitely. And let's not forget about Slimefall here, because those 2 wins really helped him out quite a bit, all things considered. I mean, this was a very close logjam between 4th and 8th right here. 4th and 7th, really. I mean, we're talking 2 games separating 4th place and 7th place in the standings. And those 2 wins, Slime, those locked you up for the 4th seed.
I didn't even know they did that. I was just playing, hoping for the best. I'm not even gonna lie. I already thought I was 4th seed going in. Yeah, so I wasn't paying attention to most of it. I just kept playing. I was just playing just to play at that point.
And you know what? It worked out for you. All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on down the line with our list here. And it was the Rattlers sweeping the Smooth Jazz to come from behind. Okay, coming in with what was it? A an 11-13 record. He needed to sweep to make it into the playoffs over Hokovi, and he did. And it was very close between him and the Smooth Jazz.
Yeah, he really came back from a rough week 1 of the season, getting swept by the Hurricanes. That started off a really rough tone to the season, but he flipped it around. We know that MC Scales is one of the best players. I mean, he has accomplished a lot. He's been in playoffs every single time he's played in an EPL affiliated league, except for 1 year in which I think that he drafted a theme team, so he wasn't even drafting his best players, and I think he barely missed out on playoffs that season. I think that was the year right before affiliation, but that just shows that his talent. We all know that he's one of the most well-rounded players in terms of pitching and hitting. He's a contact hitting extraordinaire. He came out and he did really good this season, but of course Jeff, not an easy opponent to do that against, so that was really impressive. Jeff just couldn't exactly get the runs going, but he had a pretty solid season. I mean, he definitely is improving year by year, and we could see him take another jump. He usually takes jumps as he comes into the league season after season, so. But yeah, I mean, that was a close series.
Yeah,
But the Rattlers come through.
Yeah, I mean,
Rattlers really clutched up.
Yeah, the Rattlers really did clutch up, and they really, really needed to, especially given that, you know, he needed a sweep to get into the playoffs, and then he goes out and does it. You know, it reminded me of a thing that he said earlier on, and back in June, I believe it was, that he guaranteed he was going to make the playoffs. And then he went and did it. Let me see if I can find the post here. And I know it was referenced.
I know John. Yeah, John replied to it after he won the series.
Yeah, it was
I
like, mark my words, I will make it to the playoffs. And I was like, okay, MC, let's see, it's gonna happen. Let's see if it's gonna happen. And for sure enough, he did, man. It's a big feat, man. What a promise too. What a manifest, you know?
That shows his talent. I mean, he can sit there and have a bad record and be confident enough that he's still gonna make the playoffs and then back it up.
He was a man on a mission.
Oh man, but yeah, it was a fantastic series for the Rattlers, and the chat over there was popping off when that sweep was confirmed.
Yeah.
That was so fun. I was at work and I saw it on my phone. I was like, "Yo!"
John, you're up for a challenge. He is hot right now coming into the playoffs.
Dude, I know. And he kept it really close in this series that I had with him in the regular season. I feel like those games 2 and 3 that I won could have gone his way too if it wasn't for like defensive miscommunication or some mistimed pitches. Like he can bring it very close, so it's gonna be a good matchup, man.
Yep.
Congrats on making the playoffs, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about that series here in a little while and do our predictions on those. Let's go ahead and move on to the next matchup, and that was the Sassy Squatches and the Phantoms, and this one was another epic drag-out, knockout battle right here. 1-0 in Game 1, 2-0 in Game 2 in 10 innings. Game 3 finished 1-0 in 11 for the Phantoms. And the Phantoms, they came in with a record of, 11? They came in with an 11-13 record too. They needed to sweep to have a chance at the playoffs, and unfortunately, they were unable to do so.
This series was a great series. Very, very close in every single game, especially games 2 and 3. I mean, having 2 extra series games or extra innings games in a series, that's a big series, and this was a huge pitching series. If you like defense, this was a great series to watch.
Also, was it number 1 and number 2 pick going against each other in Game 3 for the final game of the season? I mean, that was so much fun to watch. And I had the All-Star game on too, and I was like going back and forth, and I was like, got it.
Which was better? Which was better to watch, the All-Star game or this series?
I was invested in this series, not gonna lie, for Game 2 and 3 until like the All-Star game, had they started coming back in the last inning, and then the home run derby afterwards. But yeah, I was into this. It was so much fun, to keep up with. And the Squatches get an extra inning win right there. Let's go, Sasquatch baseball. Yeah.
Good old Sassy Squatch baseball.
Oh yeah, nothing like it.
Yeah, but a lot of positives to be taken away from the Phantoms' first season, and they made a great post in the Discord as well, thanking the league admins, thanking USA Baseball, and and thanking a lot of people for allowing them to be in the league this year. You know, they were a great player to have in the league this year.
Very great player, very engaged player, great fan. He was all around a great addition to the league, and he had a great first season. I hope that he's back for next season.
I hope so too.
I hope.
Yeah, see you come back. I remember seeing him in like most of the streams too, like catching up with every single game. I'm like, dang man, that's cool, dude. You know, good to see him around. You know, especially after you play the series. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was fantastic to be around. Definitely. All right, so the Sassy Squatches, you know, they finish out at 9-17-1. You know, not the greatest season in the world, but they had a lot of bad luck along the way as well, pitching wise, extra innings. You know, they could definitely have been a few games better than their record showed, and you know, they were a tough opponent all year.
Yeah, I've been seeing like a whole bunch of one-run games here, a lot of extra inning games too. Man, I bet his heart pressure was going up. I think you need to take a little bit of a breather after this season, Brento.
I had my heart rate go up too if I got in the extras almost every series.
Yeah, I think it was every series that he had. Oh my god!
Not every series. Not every series. He did not go to extra innings against Greg.
Ah.
Greg. Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Yeah, we gotta get rid of that guy.
Game 3 could have been one.
Speaking of Greg, let's talk about his series against the Space City Comets. And this one determined who was going to be the 2 and the 3 seed in the EPL. Could have also determined who could have been number 1 if the Narwhals had done well as well. But it was the Narwhals taking 2 of 3 in the series. Game 1, let's talk about Game 1 here a little bit. 11 innings, 9-5 was the final score in that one. Holy moly, Compass. You got runs off of Greg.
That was a crazy game. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember who exactly was pitching. I think I did see my man a little bit that game, but a lot of my runs came off of Kutsu and extras. Kind of got bailed out that he threw a Kutsu. Oda got a huge bomb off him in extras, but then he still came back off my Tachibana. It was a huge offensive game, and it was a great game. It had me sweating. I went up like 3 runs in the first inning of extras, and then he came straight back. Shows how talented Greg is. Of course, we all know this. He's the only team that did not lose a single series this year, which is crazy that he didn't lose a single series, but...
Didn't?
No, he didn't.
No.
Well, what's crazy is that me and him both did not lose a single series coming into this matchup, so whoever won would have not lost a single series. But...
Wow.
But if I would have won the
Nuts.
series, no matter what, I mean, unless he would have swept me, then somebody would have won every single series they played in and still not have gotten the first seed, which just shows how good John played this season. But anyway, those games 2 and 3, he pitched very great, especially game 3 with Mile Man. It was very hard. Not very happy about taking the L this series and going down to the 3rd seed, but I'm not too mad. I'm pretty happy with the series, with how I played the series. I'm more looking into the playoffs, and I'm just happy with what I got out of the series.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yep, I'll agree with you on that one.
Oh, fuck, man. I see you guys like in the standings right now. You guys are so close in like runs scored and even runs allowed, wins and losses. Like you guys are clones
Yeah.
for some reason.
It was very, very close. I felt very good that the games that I did lose were against his One and his Maoman. I think it was Kariba that I faced game 1. I felt really good about winning that one too because I decided to start Atome, which is one of my relievers this season. So that just shows that I'm ready to use anyone, and I got practice with everybody that I wanted to get practice with. I've gotten kind of a feel. I'm ready to get to studying, get to practicing, get to playing playoff baseball.
Yeah.
That's what I'm most excited for. The playoffs are where it all happens, where the magic happens.
Yeah, and we could potentially see a rematch if the semifinals happen.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Yeah, we could
Oh my goodness.
see a potential rematch in the semifinals, but it's gonna be hard to get a rematch, considering that we got a rematch from last year, the playoffs going on, and then we got a rematch of the season 2 EPL championship. So that whole part of the standings is just crazy. All the standings are crazy, but that bottom half, so much history throughout the whole thing. No matter who comes out of it, I feel like they're gonna have history against each other. It's gonna be an all-out war.
Yep, definitely. Yep. No reference to MLB Power Pro's World Forum user All Out War. So.
Nice.
All right. So let's move on to our next to last matchup. We're gonna save this one for last because that was the big one. But this is a big one as well. North Shore Honu and the Ghost Town Revenants, Zumikaku and YG. It was YG taking 2 of 3 from the Honu, and it was a big 2 of 3 if you take a look at the standings and how close everything was. YG taking 2 of 3, vaulted him over Zumikaku in the standings.
Yeah, this was a huge series for YG, taking him up to the 6th seed. Just gets him a little bit better of a seeding. He goes into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum, having won the series against me that I've lost my series, as we just talked about. He looked really good. He was hitting pretty good, especially in game 1. Honu, they kept it close, but they both showed why they're playoff teams, but the Honu just couldn't get out with the dub. They still put up their runs, but just wasn't enough against the Revenants. We might see a rematch of that matchup too in round 2. I mean,
Wow.
That would be crazy. And especially since all these games were fairly close.
yeah, they were very good games.
For YG second game too. My God,
Yeah.
they're super close. Trying to see where the home runs at. Yeah, Zuma and Garcia for the first game. Oh man. Yeah. Oh gee, YG man, becoming a bit of a slugger right now.
That's scary.
It is. It is because
It is.
you have like a whole bunch of sluggers on his team, and if he gets hot, man, that's gonna be trouble for anybody in that bracket against him. And then he neutralized Zumi's contact game a little bit here. You know, keeping them only to 2 runs in first 2 games, and then keeping them to 1 run. Oh no, my bad. 3 runs in there. Yeah, looking pretty good at pitching wise too.
Yep, so the Revenants finishing above Zumikaku in the standings. They both came in with the same record, coming in at, 15-10, I do believe it was. Or 15-9 or something like that? Yeah, 15-9.
15-9, yeah.
So very, very good series for YG, and one that they really needed to kind of, stay away from being like a 7 seed or an 8 seed and having that tougher matchup in round number 1. So we'll see what happens with their matchups coming up. But the series that ended the regular season on Wednesday night, it was the Kang Kings and the Philadelphia Bandits, and it was potentially a swan song in the Power Pros competitive community for B. Farrell. And you know what? He gave Kang hell the whole way.
Yeah, very close series. We see B. Farrell leave. we are going to miss him dearly. That one of the last PlayStation boys remaining. All of them just so talented, but B. Farrell, he's proved himself throughout these last 2 seasons. Last year, he was this close to making it to the Summit Series Championship. And then this year, didn't make it to the playoffs, but did show a lot of flashes of his former self. Had a lot of great moments. He said before that a lot of people are just catching up to him. A lot of people have been putting practice in, and I think that's true, but can't knock off his talent. I mean, B. Farrell, one of the best power hitters that we've seen come through EPL. If he does decide to hang him up, he will be missed.
Yep, and this was delayed a little bit past the expected end of the regular season, but due to the circumstances that kind of preceded that, we kind of allowed the extension a little bit to allow for that. But you know, B. Farrell was a fantastic opponent all year, and especially last year as well, making a big run into the semifinals of the Summit Series playoffs, just finishing short against Zumikaku. But the Kang Kings, in their first season of EPL play ever, no lock-on play ever in the competitive league setting here in the West, they showed out this year. And you know, Kang, he was a little bit he wasn't very confident about his no lock-on skills coming into the season, but you know, finishing in 5th place in the league by 16 points of run differential over YG, I think that is a pretty good first season. I would probably venture to say that, right, guys?
Amazing first
Very
season,
good.
man.
Yes.
Kang, he's just so talented. He's extremely knowledgeable about the game. I mean, thinking back at it, I don't know how you could think that this would have been any different season with how much knowledge that Kang has. Just how he played his tournaments and Lock on 3 from what we've seen. The amount of experience he has in this season just goes to show how great of a player he is. How amazing, and he can really just adapt to any situation. I mean, he's one of the most accomplished players in our server, and yet again, he proves it.
Man.
Yep, I agree. But you know, B. Farrell gave him a bit of a fight there. You know, Kang said that he was sweating after, who was it, Sendo hit that home run in game 2, I believe it was.
Wow.
Yeah, there was some moments there. I mean, Kang had every reason to sweat. I mean, there was some bombs that B. Farrell, he was just barely off, and he was talking about if this was last season, if I was on, those would be pitches that I would take out the park, and he was just slightly off. I mean, we know B. Farrell's talent. He could send all of those out the park. Of course, Kang had every reason to sweat. I would be sweating too, especially with your playoff seeding on the line. I mean, the sweep really helped him out. Got him up to that 5th seed. That's going to be really huge.
Yeah, and especially since, you know, game 3, there were a lot of scenarios in which this could have gone, especially if Kang had lost that game, which would have dropped him to 16-11, which means they would have been tied with Zumikaku. And look how close the run differential was here, folks. 3 runs. So there were a few scenarios coming into game number 3. So if Kang had won game 3, which he did, he would be the 5th seed, and that's exactly what happened. If he lost by less than 2, he would have been the number 6 seed, having a better run differential. If he had lost by more than 2, he would have been the 7th seed, and behind Zumikaku. But if he had lost by exactly 2 runs, because it was a 27 run differential for Kang, 25 run differential for Zumi, if he had lost by 2 runs, exactly, because they did not play each other in the regular season, because they would have tied on run differential, the third tiebreaker, according to the rulebook, is a 1-game playoff.
Oh. Oh, that would have been fun.
So,
man,
B. Farrell, he took that early lead in game number 3, 1-0. We could have seen, and he had chances to score in that first inning as well, to score even more runs, including maybe a second. So, we were very close to having the first ever 1-game playoff in EPL history.
oh, so close.
Wow, we missed something special there.
Yeah, we did. Kang, why did you do that?
We missed out on greatness.
But it was a 2-run homer kind of in the middle of the game that really sealed the deal for the Kang Kings to send them to that 5th seed. So, very good stuff from Kang Gang this season. So now, folks, it is time to take a look at the Summit Series playoff bracket. And folks, this is a fun one here, all right? This is going to be a very fun bracket here. So here are your quarter-final matchups in the EPL for the 2025 season, and there are some fantastic matchups here, folks, all right? And our first one that we're going to talk about here is going to be the Bay Area Rockets and the Rattlers. Now, the Bay Area Rockets, they're the number 1 seed. They're the regular season champion. If they make it all the way to the Summit Series Championship, it will be the team he faces getting that second automatic qualifier to North Carolina and the USA Finals. But, as we saw with YG last year, anything can happen in the playoffs in a 3-game series, and the Rattlers, they are a scrappy team. They could potentially make a run here, but I will start with you, Compass. What do you think of this series? What do you think could happen in this particular series, especially since for the playoffs, pitcher rest resets to 0 for everybody?
First off, just looking at Bay Area Rockets' potential path, I mean, I think that he got very lucky with who is seeded in his side of the bracket in the 4th and 5th and in the 8th seed. Because while you got some big hitters like the Purple Hurricanes, you have Kang, who's really showed out this season, a really scrappy team like the Rattlers. I think that his worst matchups are going to be against the people who are the best pitchers, who have the best pitchers. Think that he really avoided going up against somebody like Zumi, like myself, like Greg. He won't have to go up against any of these people until the finals. So that's huge right there. He had one heck of a regular season, but the Rattlers, they're on a run right now. They have a lot of momentum. If we're taking a look at MC Scales, his roster, and especially his pitchers, I mean, this is the thing. I don't know if MC Scales' pitchers are good enough to really hold John off, and his amazing offense. Is John really going to struggle against Atarumoto? Is he going to struggle that much? I think Lancelot can slow down John, but is he really going to struggle that much against Suzumoto? Is Lancelot going to shut him down? And he's going to have to use these players for big innings. He's got players like Tamura. I don't know if Tamura can hold back John. He does have a very good fielders, both in terms of hitting, speed, defense. Plays really well into his contact hitting play style. But John, we all know John's team. I mean, he doesn't have any top tier pitchers, but has some pretty good ones in Ribu, Kurosama, Kamitaka, all very good arms. I think that they are they are pretty close in the pitching department. John probably beats him out in terms of talent, but we've seen how good he uses these pitchers. But both his defense and his hitting are insane. Like, he's got Taki, he's got Kamira, he's got so many people at his. He's got Rebu, he's got Saiki. And then even on defense, you got some of those people that I named. He's got Murasame out in the outfield. All around, very, very balanced team. It's going to be one heck of a series. But I think John's going to take it in 2.
All right. So just as a reminder, folks, that this is best of 3 series right here. So if the person wins the first 2, that's it. It's over. They move on. So they're not going to be playing 3 games unless it's a tie game after 2, tie series after 2. So just a little bit of a reminder of what we're taking a look at. So thank you for saying that John would win in 2. but yeah. So Slime, what do you think of this series between the Rockets and the Rattlers?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Given how John is, which is terrifying, and MC Scales is on a hot streak that we all describe, just because I like chaos, I feel like they could go a 3-game series with John taking game 1 and MC Scales taking game 2 and 3.
Oh, AFC dropping off the first seed.
Oh no. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, what do you think is going to be key for the Rattlers, Slime, to try to win in 3 games here?
Pitching out of his mind with his staff.
I think that the pitching has to be there.
Like you said, he does have Lance a lot, which he might have to throw in to like lock him down with Tyrant. But he has Mr. Mushroom and the Beaver. The Beaver's kind of a problem when he's like cooking, all right? If the Beaver's happy, he's a problem.
They struggle against him in the regular season, not gonna lie.
And Mr. Mushroom, he's all right, but he just has to be happy too. That's all I got.
Yep, I agree. Yeah, and let me see real quick. I want to recall here. Did John play Scales in the regular season? I need to take a look at this here.
I did. I think it was week 4.
Week 4. Yeah, it was week 4. It was week 4. Yeah. Bay Area Rockets and the Rattlers, and it was a 3-game sweep for the Rockets, but some very close games in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, those ones could have gone either way right there, because just because of the game kind of prevented Scales from doing his thing. So it could have been 2 to 3 Rattlers right there, and then playoff seeding would be different, honestly. But yeah, nervous for this one because this dude is going on a tear right now. We'll see what's gonna happen, for this series to go on. So looking forward to it. A little bit nervous too because anything can happen.
Definitely.
Remember, fear the Beaver.
Yep,
the Beaver.
I think the key to victory for the Bay Area Rockets in this series is to take advantage of the lesser pitchers, the people who aren't especially top-end talent. Well, no one is really top-end talent on his team, but you really got to take advantage of like the Arishimuras, the Suzumotos, the Kinos. And I think that the key to victory for the Rattlers is going to be to pitch out his mind, as Slime said, and he's going to have these great contact hits against John's pitchers, and I don't think that it's impossible. I mean, John, he showed that he uses these pitchers very, very well, but these pitchers, just in terms of their talent, they are very good. Not to say that he has bums. Every player is pretty good, but it's not like you are bringing somebody unhittable to the table. And I think that a lot of these pitchers, we could see Scales start getting a run on, start getting a lot of contact hits on. I mean, you got some pitchers who you can't really expect to string together contact hits on, but some of these pitchers, I mean, Scales, he could just get a run going.
Definitely. So there you have it. Our panel says, well, Compass says the Rockets going to sweep. The Slime says Radler's going to be taking it 2 of 3. So that'll be an interesting series to take a look at. It almost makes me wonder what kind of a series it would have been if it would have been John versus Hokovy as well. That would have been that series. That series would have fed families.
Jeez. It did in the regular season too. I mean, that extra innings, we went 14 innings again. I went with Hokovy. So, dude is a competitor, man. Those games were a lot of fun to play against him.
Yeah, but this next one's going to be an interesting one. This could be one of the most intriguing matchups here in the playoffs here, and that's going to be Slimefall and the Purple Hurricanes taking on Kang Gang and the Kang Kings. Hurricanes will have home field advantage as the number 4 seed, meaning they will be hosting games 1 and 3 in the series. Heck, the higher seed in any series will be hosting games 1 and 3 in the 3-game series in the quarters and the semis. Purple Hurricanes, the 4 seed, Kang Gang, the 5 seed. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. John, what are your thoughts on this series, and who do you think is going to take it?
Oh my goodness. It's tough because I know like Slime has some pretty decent pitchers on his team right here. I'm looking at like just comparing both of them right now. I mean, Suzukaze is still pretty tough to hit, even no lock on. And then, Sakurazawa has a really good fastball. Alex with a splitter, and then Zitsu with a forkball. I mean, and then you look at Kang Gang, you got Yunkai, Yamino, Nijitani. I mean, some decent arms from both squads. But it's going to be contact versus power through all this. I mean, you're going to see some contact from Slime, from his outfielders, but he's going to try to hit some dingers in this one. What's going to be tough? What's going to be tough though is going to be the game against Yunkai, and could he find a rhythm against Yunkai in this series? We don't know how Kang's going to use Yunkai, start game 1 or maybe even have him in relief and then start the second game if he needs to. So it's tough. Just 2 different play styles right here, and these teams are just built differently. Man, it's going to be very close. I have to choose one. Oh man, I want to defer it.
You can't defer, man. You got.
I can't defer. This sucks.
I mean, I could talk a little bit before you make your pick. I mean, that's as much deferring as you could do.
Okay.
Have a little bit more time.
I'll make my chaos right now. I'll do chaos right now since you threw shade at me.
Understandable.
2 out of 3 Kings.
Ooh.
It's gonna be best. It's gonna be 3 games. King gonna take 2.
All right. You're thinking,
I don't know, man. I'm gonna flip a coin next time.
So you're thinking like Kings game 1, Hurricanes game 2, or something like that?
Yeah. King game 1, Canes game 2, Kings game 3.
All right. So
I respect the shade being thrown.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy series. Both Slime and King right next to each other in the stands. Of course, they're the 4th and 5th seeds, so they have to be right next to each other. But 18 wins for Slime going up against 17 wins for King. King has the slightly better run differential by only 1 single run. Slime has 10 more runs scored than him, but Kang has 11 more 11 less runs allowed. So a little bit more, as John said, it's contact versus power hitting, but it's also can Kang keep those pitchers in order? So we go over here to Kang's his pitchers. Of course, we talked about it earlier. Unkai is going to be very hard. He also has Yamino, who I think is going to be a little bit of a challenge for Slime to hit. Other than that, Nijitani, Hisakata, Kujo, Arima might be a little bit tricky. They aren't terrible, but I don't think that Slime is going to have that much trouble against them. And if we go over to his side, we got, of course, Hope on his team. I really like Slime's pitching staff, but he's got Izutsu, Alex, Sakurazawa, a bunch of nice fastball guys. See if Kane can line them up, but it's going to be really interesting to see what type of pitching strategy goes into the series, what we're going to see Unkai do, because Unkai, it's kind of like a game of rock, paper, scissors in the fact that Unkai is kind of trumping Hope Suzukaze. So if I was Slime, my strategy would be to try to not use Suzukaze in the same game that Unkai is pitching in, just so you could get the most value out of Suzukaze. I mean, you could also look at it that you want to match your best pitcher to his best pitcher to give yourself the best chance to win that game. But the way I look at it, I'd rather just have Suzukaze try to go out and win another game other than the Unkai one. But let's say he use him in relief for the first game and has him ready for the second game, but Kang takes the first game and now he's got to face Unkai in his closeout game. That's going to be really tough. But we look on further on in the schedule. Of course, this winner is going to have to take on either the first seed or the team that just took out the first seed. So that's going to be a tough matchup in the future. But just looking at this series, it's going to be tough. It's going to be extremely tough. And I think it's going to really come down to pitcher strategies and where the moods land, where these players decide to play their pitchers at, how effective they are in using their pitchers. I think that it's going to be really come down to the pitchers. I think I got Kang in 3. I think I got the same as John.
Oh no.
I think he's going to take it, but it's going to be so close, and this is a must watch.
Slime, you're on a mission.
Yeah, I am now.
You're on a mission.
Hey, now we also got to put in that Slime will not be practicing that much this weekend.
Oh, no. You're gonna make him
That's
even more
what sucks.
paranoid. He's not gonna enjoy his trip now.
I still am. I'm just gonna have to practice on the way there and back.
Yeah, but Slime, what do you think it's going to take to defeat Kang Gang since we have you here?
Oh boy. That, like Compass said, mood's gotta land. The one thing I'm praying is that RNG just blesses me for all these games, which means he's definitely not gonna do that now.
Oh.
And my biggest hope is that Unkai is not pink mood when I go against him. Red mood I can probably handle. Pink mood is already a problem. Because I'm not sure if moods also affect the heaviness property of a fastball or iron ball, but it just feels like that ball is made out of titanium when you hit it.
Yeah, Compass and John, I do want to ask, if you were in Kang Gang's position and you had to choose a starter for game 1, do you go with Unkai, or do you try to go with someone else to try to throw Slime off?
I think it totally depends on the moods. I think if Unkai is in a good mood, I think if he's red or higher, I think you have to start him. If he's yellow or below, especially if somebody else that you're comfortable with is in red or higher mood, I think that you have to start them and think about using Unkai for either 3 innings or 1 inning, depending on how the game's going. Yeah, I just think totally mood dependent.
Very mood dependent too. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially since it's a short series too.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught wasting your best pitcher. Let's say your Unkai is yellow, but you're like, no, I want a red Unkai or whatever, and you wait until game 2 and 3, and he's on a bad mood. You get on a bad mood streak. Like, what do you do? I mean, in my example, at least it's Unkai, but what if that happened to Pope? What if that happened to Suzakaze? What would Slime do? That's tough in these short series. It feels like you gotta use your best talent early just so that you could guarantee them. That's how I feel personally. I don't know how rest of the panel feels.
So Compass, you put me in that situation. It's happened more than once this season already.
No doubt.
Suzukaze had to go out there a bunch of times not happy.
Yeah, I mean, Suzukaze still a beast, not happy, but not nearly as much of a beast.
Yeah,
Man.
Takes a lot. Those heavy fastball guys are so different, where they could be on a bad mood, and of course it's gonna hurt, but it's not hurting that much. They still get their heavy fastball, but really anybody else in the game, those bad moods are killer.
All right, so both of our eligible panelists have selected Kangang to win in 3 games. That's going to be a fun series coming up whenever that gets scheduled. I'm looking forward to seeing when that gets scheduled, Slime. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next matchup, and that is going to be a very, very spicy matchup right here between the Space City Comets and Compass and the Ghost Town Revenants and YG. This is, I believe, if I recall
This is like
correctly,
our 20th time facing each other in anything.
I do want to say, I think this might be a matchup of a regular season matchup.
I think it was week 3. Yeah.
Week 3? Yeah, this was a matchup. Rematch of week 3, in which it was the Comets taking a sweep against YG, but it was a very, very close sweep. So, John, do you think we see more of the same in this series, or will YG get his revenge?
Oh my goodness. I mean, both of these teams are just stacked on the front lines of rotations. I mean, you got Doe and Alan at the top of YG's, rotation, and then you have Phoebus and Asa on the other side. Also pretty stacked lineups too. There's some power hitters, two-way players. This is gonna be extremely close just because of how they pitch to each other. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I feel I'm actually gonna make a prediction right now. I feel Compass might come through with this one. It's gonna take a lot, but it's gonna be a good series all the way through. I think it's gonna be Comets in 3, so 2 out of 3 for Comets in this one. It's gonna be such a close series.
Yeah, I think it'll be this.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet to say.
All right, Slime, what are your thoughts on this series?
You know what? Since everyone has their pitchers all rested and ready, I think the Revenants got it.
Uh-oh.
Flip it. It's YG winning game 1 and 3, Compass taking game 2.
All right. Now, what do you think? Now, what do you two think is going to be the big keys for both of these players?
Probably still pitching in my head, because both teams have, like John said, both lineups are stacked, hitting and pitching wise. I think most of it might be a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for Compass though, if you get into the back end of YG's bullpen, I feel like you're in a better position than you would be for. Actually, yeah, just go into the bullpen. The bullpen can lock it down for both teams. Then we won't have too many problems. But these are good lineups here, and I know Compass has an extra pitcher in Oda, so he has a bunch of options to go start these games and also like pitch the rest of these games. So it's gonna be very close, man.
Yeah, I think one of the big factors in this game is probably going to be the running game of Compass as well, and if YG can shut that down.
Oh yeah,
Right. The hit and run machine.
Yeah, and timing it, trying to like psych out his timing for the jumps too. And I think YG gets the defensive positioning too, where he's going to pitch. So, dang, we're going to see how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's very interesting given YG's success last year to see him down here as a 6 seed.
I think so. I think what hurt him the most was dropping games against us. Me and Compass, getting swept. I feel like it'll be a different story. I mean, he would be sitting if he just got one win. I mean, he'd be sitting in the 4th seed. Going against Slime. So yeah. I feel like he was just reworking his hitting. The player's still there. YG is still a great player. He's gonna give a good fight throughout these playoffs. Let's see how he does though against Compass, though, the reigning champion.
Yeah, Compass, I know you won't be able to make a prediction on this series, but just kind of give me your thoughts on this series and what you kind of see coming in.
All right, first off, me and YG said this a million times when we did week 3. There's literally so much history when it comes to me and YG. It feels like every single event that both me and him have competed in, we have gone up against each other in a very big matchup. Of course, you go back to last year, we faced off against the playoffs. I knocked him out of the playoffs. We go to E-Premier 12, we faced off. He knocked me down to 3rd seed in our group of E-Premier 12. Could go seasons before that, could go all the way back to 2023 USA final. There's literally so many matchups we could go through with me and him. We know each other so well. It's going to be a mental mind game. We both have so many great pitchers on our teams. I'm scared of his pitchers. I'm confident in mine. I don't think that the sweep early in the season really means that much. Because one, we saw last year that he beat me pretty bad in the regular season too, and then I came back and I swept him in the playoffs. So the same thing could happen here for him. After getting swept, he could come back and beat me. But I also think he also made it clear that he was very cold going into that series. He was getting at the start of reworking his hitting, and I think I caught him at a good time, honestly. I think that the series is going to be 10 times harder than that series already was. And even though that was a sweep, that was a very close series. It was a very scary series. I think that if I want to win the series, I am going to have to go hard in every single way in studying his playing and practicing. I'm going to have no life for the next week.
I think all of us have to have the life here.
Yeah.
Yep, and this matchup is going to be taking place Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to be an interesting one coming up. All right.
Yep.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at our final matchup of the quarterfinals, and this is also another rematch of a series that was played earlier this season, and that would have been in week number 6 between the subarctic Narwhals and the North Shore Honu. And there were some close games in that series in week 6 between the Honu and the Narwhals, but it was the Narwhals in the regular season taking a sweep against the Honu, including a combined perfect game in game number 2. But all these games, these were one-run games. So, Compass, I'm going to start with you on this one. This might be, maybe outside of the Kangang Slimefall matchup, probably the most intriguing one in terms of it being on paper.
This is going to be an incredibly tough matchup for both opponents. This is, of course, as we said, a rematch of Season 2 EPL Championship where Zumi took out Greg. Greg did get the sweep on Zumi earlier in the season, but Zumi, even though he's had a kind of lackluster regular season to his standards, we know the type of animal he is in playoffs. Like, there's no getting past that, and I do not think that he is going to hold back any punches when it comes to playoffs. But Greg had one killer season, and he could go up against anybody in playoffs and take him out. I mean, he's well proven in playoffs too. I mean, he was the one that faced Zumi in the EPL Championship. I mean, you don't get there without winning some playoff games against some good opponents. I mean, this is going to be very, very good. Just looking at their teams, you got Zumi. He doesn't have a top pitcher on his team, but he has some pretty good ones. I mean, Krill, pretty good. Simon, I really like Simon. Suzaku, Hagane. Suzaku got that speed Hagane, but we know Hagane is his guy. He is very good with Hagane. But Greg, probably the best pitcher in the league, and he's got Mile Man in his hands too. It's gonna be so tough. This is really gonna be a pitching battle. I think the key to the series is if Zumi can get the contact hit going, get the friendship contact hit going that we know Zumi for, or if Greg, he continues his pitching dominance and shuts that down. This is really tough. I think that he wins whatever game he pitches Mile Man in, but it's just the question of, can Zumi get the runs he needs to off Kariba and One? I think the answer is no. I think Greg is going to win in 3. I think he's taking game 1 and game 3.
All right, so Compass thinking that the Narwhal is going to knock Zumikaku, one of the OGs of the Power Pros community, out in the quarterfinals. John, let's go over to you. What are your thoughts on this series and who you think is going to take it?
Man, when I face both of these teams right here, they're really good with their contact hitting. They hit it to the right spots too at the right times. But I mean, it's going to come down to pitching. I feel like Greg has just a good squad. The top of his rotation, you have Mile Man, One, and also Kariba. He has a bunch of options to go off, for the first game and even, through the second game. Well, my costume is, the bullpen management. I feel like, when you get to the back end of it, will that go against the contact hitting? You don't want to put a Kutsu in like how you did for, against Compass the other week. So, and for Zumi, I mean, he always finds a way to kind of, get hitters to chase too with his pitching. He's just really good. He just hits it right out of the zone, and it just keeps hitters off balance. I mean, 2 skillful pitchers right here in their own right. But when it comes down to it, I feel since Greg had a good regular season, and I feel like he has a better rotation, I feel like he's going to take 2 out of 3 on this one.
All right, so you think it's going to go to 3?
I think it's going to go to 3. It's going to be, game 1, game 2, Tonu. Yeah.
All right. Slime, do you feel the same way?
I don't know. This is a rematch. I don't know. They're both good.
All I gotta say is you could look at all this stuff, but you can't count out the fact that Zumi, he just comes in. It just seems like he comes in clutch. I'm really rethinking my pick because every time I think about it, he just comes in clutch time after time in these situations. It's tough.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna decide then. I'm going with this is gonna go to 3 games, but Zumi's gonna win.
Ooh. I think it's going to break down with 1, 2, and 3.
Game 1, the Narwhals. Game 2 and 3, Zumi.
All right.
Okay.
The comeback.
Why do you think it's gonna be Honu in 3?
Friendship.
Basically that. Zumi, when he finally locks in, is a problem. Like, again, when he starts going power against you, you're probably cooked. You're probably screwed. Like, it's bad. Because his contact game is already good as it is now. But once he has power, that means he has you read like a book. And you just gotta hope for the best on pitching.
All right.
And wait.
All right, so 2 of our 3 panelists saying that the Narwhals are going to take it 2 out of 3, but it is Slime saying that the Honu are going to win 2 out of 3. So real quick, before we sign off for today's episode of the Roundtable discussion, I want to get your thoughts as to who you believe are going to go to the finals, the Summit Series Championship, and who do you think is going to win it all this year?
If I'm gonna start, I think that the most likely thing that we are gonna see, if I'm gonna make a prediction now, I think that we are going to see Narwhals versus the Kang Kings, and I think that we are going to see the Narwhals win the Summit Series.
Ooh.
That's my official prediction before playoffs start.
Oh, man.
John, what do you think?
I'm not gonna lie though. I was thinking about it. I mean, Narwhals are just a great team, man. Just a great team. They're second seed for a reason. I think they might win it all right here. Me, I got just be on my end game though, just to even try to get the dub up there. But yeah, I really feel like Greg might pull it off this time around.
Slime.
Oh boy. As much as I want to say Greg just to be a follower, I'm gonna be selfish. I think I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, let's go.
I didn't know that was an option.
Of course it's an option.
Let's not be narcissist over here.
I think I can do it. I just need practice.
Yeah, but other than your team, Slime, who do you think is?
Other than me, I honestly think Zumi can do it. Zumi got to do it this season, man. He's got to do it.
I feel like one of them. Man, every time I think about it, I can think of anybody coming out with this. I'm like, whoever wins that, they got such a good chance to win it. But YG, he's just so good. He's already won a regular season championship. Slime has had one heck of a season. He's one of the best power hitters that we've seen in our league, and he can get hot. Kang has had a great rookie season, and he is just one of the most well-rounded players. Great contact hitter, can take down anybody. The Rattlers, we've seen the type of run that they've gone on. They're super scrappy, have so much experience, have great defense and great hitting. And then the Rockets, they've just won the regular season championship. They might be the best hitting team in EPL history. Best power hitting for sure. Scary.
Yeah.
Every team has a case.
Yep, and I might be broadcasting a couple of these select matchups on my Twitch channel, if that's okay with the people that are going to be streaming it on their channels, just to get some practice in for calling the WBSC, well, not WBSC, but the Summit Series Championship.
That
would
really
be
sick.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I wish we did that
That's
in the
so
regular
cool.
season for some.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been busy during the regular season, so.
Don't blame you. Don't blame you.
But that's gonna be some interesting matchups coming up between the Rockets and the Rattlers, the Hurricanes and Kings, the Comets and Revenants, the Narwhals and Honu. We got ourselves a stacked bracket coming up in the playoffs starting the rest of this week. So guys, before we sign off, any final thoughts?
To all the rookies that played this season, y'all did fantastic.
Let's give it up for the rookies.
Yeah, the rookies, man. They're pretty good, guys. You got some credit, man.
I hope y'all enjoyed playing with us, and we hope to see y'all again next season.
All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for Compass, John, and Slime. I've been Robert Tomlinson, the commissioner of the USA eBaseball Power League. Good luck to everybody in the playoffs, and have a great day, everybody.